Right. Hi, welcome back. I hope you all had some time to relax and enjoy yourselves over the break, that you are refreshed and you are ready for these last couple of weeks of the semester. This week, we are working on writing job descriptions and job offer letters. You, as long as you submitted your website link correctly, you have been assigned a website to review. You're not writing a review of the website, but you are going to be using that person's website to create your job offer, your job description, and your job offer letter. So please look at the document that is linked in a couple slides. I'll just slide through here and show you where that is. So where it says assigned classmate here, that will take you to a document that has your name, and it'll have a column that says the website that you're assigned. So you need to use that website for the job description and job offer project assignments, whatever you want to call them. If you do not see your name on this document, you want to first make sure that you did in fact submit your website link correctly and that it was working. If it was not submitted correctly or if it was not working, I did leave you that information in the assignment grade area. So please make sure you check that. And if you do decide you would like to participate in this part of the assignment, you need to contact me with your website and a working link for your website so that I can match you up with a different student. The other thing that you'll be working on this week is writing a job description. So you're putting yourself in the role of management, a supervisory type of role, administrative type of role, whatever kind of works for you. And your assignment is to review the website of your assigned classmate. By the time you see this video, you should have already received the email with your assigned classmate. The classmate's name is hyperlinked to the website that they submitted. You want to go to that website, review that website, learn everything you can about this person's professional goals from their website. Some websites are set up for people who are seeking employment. A few of the websites are set up as more business sites where they are seeking clients. The ones seeking employment are pretty straightforward. You know what to offer them, what kind of job to offer them. The ones who are setting up a business, you want to kind of play into that business as if you were a major client asking them to do a job for you. And so you'd be creating that perfect job that fits within the business or something related. Or maybe you're trying to poach them and get them to come and work for your organization instead of their own business. Whatever approach you want to take is fine, but you will be writing a complete job description. So if we look at the complete job description here, the rhetorical situation to start with is the purpose is to craft a job description that details the qualifications, skills, responsibilities, and remuneration and benefits. You are writing for people who would be applying for this job, for that ideal candidate, and you are going to include details about the qualifications, skills, responsibilities, compensation. All right. So you'll review your classmate's website. You're going to determine the appropriate industry and position for that person, and you're going to craft a job description that includes these details, please, or these items. Please make up the details, okay? You've had to do a few things where you got to make up details, so this is just another one of those things where you're going to make up the details. So your job needs to have a specific title, a title that is specific to that particular position. It can't just be a broad title like uh, accountant, but more specific accounting role, or engineer. Like, you can't just say engineer. We know there are many different kinds of engineers, and even within one kind of engineer, there are specific jobs that they do. So make it sure that it's a specific job title. You should include information, kind of the organizational thing. So if there's a particular department that this person would be working for, you want to include that. The work hours or schedule, anything about that that needs to be specified in order for someone to determine if this is the right job for them. Who this person would report to. It doesn't need to be a name, it needs to be a position of authority or superiority to this person, someone that they are that they answer to. Where is this job located? Make sure that there's a location given, whether that is working from home, like remote work, whether that is hybrid work, remote and in a particular office in a particular city and town. But you need to make that up, but you need to be specific about where this job takes place. And then you need to detail the compensation. So what's the salary, or if it's an hourly wage, what's the hourly wage? And then is that salary, weekly, monthly, yearly? Like, how is that? You might even want to specify in there when people get paid. So like weekly on Friday, every other week on Friday, every other week on Tuesday, once a month on the first Monday of the month, whatever it is. You want to make sure that that's included. And then you want to think about the benefits. What benefits package would your company, your organization offer to this person? So what kind of health insurance does that include, or give options for vision and dental as well? Or is it simply medical health insurance? What's the time off, vacation, personal day, sick time, availability? What does that all shake out to be? Are there paid holidays? If so, what are they? Retirement funds, is there a 401k option? Stock options? What do you have going on here? Anything else? Any other benefits that your organization would offer to this person in this position? In paragraph form, and this is really the only part of the job description that's actually in paragraph form, you would be writing the job summary. You want to hook the person in. You want to give an overview of the position. So this is not where you're writing a whole bunch of details. You're giving an overview of what this position is, who the person is, and what they're responsible for, and any qualities that make working for that company unique. What is unique about this company that would draw someone in to want to work there? Then you go through and you'll be listing the responsibilities. So start with the essential job functions, the things that are the most important, that are the main everyday or regular tasks of the job, and the areas of responsibility. And then a second set of bullet points would be the marginal job functions, or non-essential, the ones that are not the main focus of the job, but that might come up occasionally, whether that's once or twice a week, or whether that's once or twice a month, or whatever. You don't have to specify that, but use language that indicates that this is not an everyday part of the job. And then somewhere, this might be first, up higher, this might be the last thing. It's really up to you here, but you need to detail out the requirements. What is the required education for this person, this ideal candidate? What experience should they have? How much and in what kinds of roles? What competencies should they display? What are some physical demands? What are some mental demands? And what are the working conditions that they can expect? You may need to do some research for a lot of this. You may need to say, okay, this person should be in accounting. I'm going to go and on Indeed and I'm going to look at several different accounting jobs. I'm going to find one that seems to suit this person, and then I'm going to look at several job descriptions with that same or a similar job title, and I'm going to see what is the industry kind of standard, and where do I want to fall into the range of industry norms. Do I want to be right there in the middle, or do I want to offer them something more more advanced, like a more lucrative kind of offer than that? So you need to do your research. What are the responsibilities and the education requirements that this person would need for any of these positions that they might apply for on Indeed? And I'm going to create my job description that matches or exceeds some of those requirements. And when you do put it together, you would use professional language. You might use some jargon. You most likely would use some jargon in many fields, especially when you're getting into particular kinds of software or equipment, certain certifications and other qualifications and things. So you might need to use some jargon. It would be industry specific. You'll pick it up if you do your research. You will pick it up from reviewing several different job descriptions. And then you want to use strong active verbs. So everything on your job description should be verb driven. So the bullet points should all begin with those strong active verbs. We talked about that with the resume assignment. You want to apply that again to this job description assignment. And you want to be giving clear and concise information. So you don't want a job description that is going to take 8 or 9 pages, because nobody's going to read that, and a lot of people will think, wow, these people are crazy. I'm not going to go and look at this in detail. I want something that I can digest a little faster, might be a little more manageable. So as I've been talking about bullet points, most of your information on the job description is going to be in a bullet pointed sort of design. Most of those points are going to begin with strong action verbs, and you'll have few complete sentences. Mostly you're just going to have like the predicate of the sentence, the verb and beyond. And you want it to be as professional, clear, and concise as possible. You want the document to be scannable so that the person who's looking at it can scan through and see, this is where I find the requirements. I'm going to look at those first. This is where I find the responsibilities. I'm going to look at that. Wait, what's the compensation? And I can see that easily. So use bolding, use all caps, use white space where necessary. Again, the more complete job descriptions you look at, the easier it will be to see how you can design your own. And this assignment is due Monday the 8th by noon. So you'll want to get started on this, as soon as you finish your website. If not before, if you somehow decide to do that before. So, whoops. That was not what I wanted to do, but I don't need that. Okay. So we wanted to go back here, and we have laid out here on the slide as well, reminder of what goes in each of these sections. The title is the only thing that has to go first. The rest of this you can put in an order that you think makes most sense. GRCC does theirs in the order kind of that's given here. So title, then those administrative details, the compensation, the summary of the job position, the responsibilities and the requirements. But that's not the only way to do it. So you can take and kind of mix and match the order until you get an order that you think is logical and organized and that you would like to see when you're looking for a job. Right. Again, style and design: professional, clear, concise, strong action verbs, bullet points, bolding, all caps, and white space. All right. So your first thing that we're working on this week is that job offer letter. We mentioned that last week. You wrote a job description based on what you saw on an assigned classmate's website. So you were tasked with the idea of creating the perfect job for that person and writing up the complete detailed description of that job. Now this week you're going to be writing a job offer letter, and that letter needs to include the specific job title, the start date, the base salary, contingencies, the at-will statement, and the deadline for acceptance. So let's go ahead and look at the assignment instructions. So we scroll down past the job description and we come to the job offer letter. The purpose is to offer a specific position to a candidate who is your assigned classmate, so you will need to use that classmate's name, by the way. Don't, make up somebody else, but use as if you were writing to that classmate. Your audience would be your prospective employee, also known as your assigned classmate, and you need to have those things that I just mentioned as your content. So let's look a little bit more at the content. So first of all, you want to use that job description that you created so that everything that is in your offer letter matches up with that description. You want to have that same specific job title. You want to include a start date, so when that prospective employee would be required to start working. The base salary or wage. So if your job description gave a salary range of, say, 48 to 54,000, depending on whatever experience or qualifications, you could write your offer as 49,000 or 51,000. Or somewhere within that range. It needs to match up, and it needs to be an actual number, not that range. So it has to be the salary that your company would have decided on for this particular candidate. You need to include any contingencies. So if this offer is based on the prospective employee meeting certain requirements, such as passing a background check, a reference check, drug testing, document verification, or anything else, you need to put that in there. So you need to list the exact contingencies that are in there for that employment, that job offer, and make it clear that if those things don't happen to the satisfaction of the company, that the offer will be rescinded. You also need to include an at-will statement if this applies to this particular job, which is basically stating that either the employer or the employee could terminate the employment at any given time for any reason or no reason at all. If this is some more of a contract position, then you might not have an at-will statement, or your at-will statement might have some more nuance to it. Again, just like you were asked to do some research to find your job descriptions, you might want to do a little bit of research to see what is standard in that particular industry, if there is a standard. And then you also want to include the deadline for accepting the offer, although it's probably best to phrase it, more along the lines of we hope to hear from you by XY date for your acceptance of this offer. All right. So that is the content. There's not a lot of content to this. It's pretty basic. What is right here, that is what's expected to be in your letter. So if you follow that, then your letter is not going to be a very extensive letter. It will be, pretty straightforward, to the point, a few paragraphs, that's it. And they'll be short paragraphs, as with pretty much all technical writing. Right, the style. Your style needs to be a professional letter. Although these days it's very common for those to be emails. You want to refer back to the very first week of this semester when I had you write your introductory emails to me. There's the information about professional emails. You want to go back and refer to that. All of that applies to this. It needs to be formal, yet still conveying warmth. Needs to be respectful. You need to show positive energy. It needs to be an efficient letter, which means that you want it to be clear and concise. You don't want to use a lot of extra words and phrases. Just keep it straight to the point. It needs to be accurate, which means that you need to make sure that you have all the right information, the specific information that you need. And again, it needs to be clear. So there should be no doubt on the person receiving the letters, understanding of what the job offer is, and when it begins, and what any contingencies are. As far as design, you need to have a subject line for an email. The letter itself should have a greeting. It needs to have the body with that content that we've already discussed. It needs to have a formal closing, such as sincerely, and it needs to have your signature, which in email obviously is just going to be your typed out name, but in a formal letter you would have like a handwritten signature and a typed name. So that's what you're going for as far as design goes for this particular assignment. So it's not a difficult assignment. There's not a lot of parts to it or anything, but keep in mind that this is bringing together things that we have been doing all semester. This is referring back to the where we started this semester and bringing that assignment into a new situation. So a new spin on that kind of professional email. You want to show that you can actually create a strong professional email or letter. So just keep that in mind, that the simplicity can be deceptive, but often it takes more energy, more concentration, more diligence to write these simpler pieces in a professional manner. All right, so, if you have any questions about that part of the assignment, of course, please let me know as soon as possible so that we can discuss it and get you squared away with that. Let's go back to our presentation. So this is a professional letter written on company letterhead, or somehow indicating that company if you're setting it up as an email. Make it clear that you have this more official, formal kind of thing. All right, so this week's assignments, again, your job description and your job offer letter are both due this week by noon on Monday. You can turn these in anytime, and you do not have to turn them in at the same time. They will have two separate submissions in Blackboard, so you don't have to submit them together if you want to do one and then do the other. The next week, you're going to be working on your final project, which counts as your final exam for this class. So be prepared for that. I will be giving you an example of what I'm expecting, as well as all the instruction for that next week. You will have the entire week to do that project. And yeah, that'll be the end for us. We do not have anything during final exam week other than submitting your final project by noon on that Monday. The rest of final exam week is free for you guys, at least for this class. I have no idea about the rest of your classes, but I hope that it's not too terrible for any of you. So if you have any questions or concerns, please contact me. Sooner is always better. Sooner is always better. So, but please, I am available to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If I can't talk to you right away, I still will get back to you. So please contact me. And have a lovely week, and I wish you all the best of luck.